So not what I would normally do, but after a rather amusing phone call from a friend, I have here a Stratocaster lookalike, which is likely marketed for beginners and or perhaps folks on a limited budget. And this very nice condition guitar was actually rescued from being crushed at a local recycling rubbish plant. And I was asked if I would pit it up against a couple of Fender built guitars, these Fender built Stratocasters you see sitting here. And just out of interest, somebody did comment that they thought that this would make a fun video. Why not? My name's Stu, and if you're not familiar with my video series, I recommend you go to my guitar channel playlist and start at video number 1, which covers my journey back to playing guitar after a 40-year hiatus, and I cover all kinds of guitars, amplifiers, pedals and lots more. So do check out my various playlists and please do subscribe, ring the bell, like and so on, as it helps the algorithms for the channel. Now, my main goal is actually writing and recording my own compositions, and all being well, I shall do so. However, this Q&A playlist is an answer to comments I've received in the comments section below and privately, and if you prefer, you can always get in contact with me privately. Private email is stuguitarchannel@gmail.com. Now, in the previous Q&A video, we looked at comparing the iconic Gibson Firebird with its mini humbuckers against the single coils of a Fender Telecaster. So do check that out if you're interested. Now, just recently I was chatting with a friend when he suddenly remarked, "Hey, I just rescued a cheap Stratocaster copy from being trashed at the local dump site. It's in good condition, and it'd surely make a great little guitar for someone to learn on. How would you like to pit it up against one of your Fender guitars? Hey, even the custom shop Stratocasters, just for a bit of fun." Well, why not, I said. So here it is. As you can see, it's a Stratocaster style shape. The branding is actually a well-known music retailer, Gear for Music, who have outlets in the UK and Europe. And where they get these made, I'm not sure. You can comment below if you know. And no, I'm not being paid by them to do this video. Now, incidentally, this looks like, this looks so similar to the Japanese Stratocaster copy that I used to own back in the mid-70s. And in fact, most of the guitarists I knew in my younger years only ever owned a copy of a Gibson or a Fender instrument. Relatively speaking, they were just as expensive then as they are today, speaking of Gibson and Fender. So for a guitar that was about to be trashed, apparently because one of the strings broke. Now, I've heard that we are a throwaway society, but to chuck a guitar into the rubbish dump because a string broke? Do comment below if you think I'm missing something. So as you can see, it's in very reasonable condition, even got the plastic protective film on the pickup guard, and apart from replacing the missing high E string, I've actually done nothing to this, and I've done nothing to it because it's actually quite nice to play the way it is. Now, the action might be a little bit high for most guitarist tastes, and because of that, I feel that the tuning can get knocked out, more noticeable when fretting open chords. So not sure if we lowered the action, if it would help that, or we may just encounter fretting out, choking, string buzz, that kind of thing. Often you do find that with lesser quality instruments, they do tend to suffer from that. But it's more than playable, just the way it is. Now, I did use my Polytune to make sure that I got as an accurate tuning as possible. So this guitar comes in around about £100 or $100, and that would be brand new. Now, to put that in context, you could actually buy 15 of these for one of these. This is a Fender Stratocaster Professional. Or you could buy around 40 of these up against one of these, Fender Custom Shop Stratocaster. I just said that for a bit of fun. These guitars are, of course, very different from one another, and the Fenders, without doubt, feel high-quality instruments and resonate beautifully without even any amplification. While this budget guitar, it's nicely made, and it looks the part, but without doubt, it feels like a budget instrument by comparison. And it certainly doesn't have the same resonation. And to be honest with you, it could do with being set up properly. Certainly a little bit better than it is. Now, the point of this video is, why throw a nicely made guitar onto the rubbish heap? Unless it sounds dreadful and is dreadful to play. So, first up, our budget Stratocaster style guitar, saved from the rubbish dump. I don't know what it's made of. It's got a bit of weight to it, but it's certainly cleanly produced, typical of modern day CNC products. The neck is comfortable in the hand, and the fingerboard is very good for what it is, really. The materials that make up this guitar, as you would expect, are produced at a price, but for what it is, it looks well finished and everything works. Remember, this guitar was headed for the crusher, so I can't comment on what a brand new one straight from the actual store would be like. It's finished in a gloss poly style coating. I've got no idea what the pickups are. It does have a 5-way toggle, and I've removed the backplate to let you see the tremolo setup. The trem is set so the bridge is flat on the body. The springs, they are very tight, and it is quite hard to depress. Once again, this really does need a better setup so that the trem would be more usable. But what's it up against? It's up against a custom shop reissue style late 1964 Fender Stratocaster fitted with fat 60s pickups, and the other guitar is an off-the-shelf Fender Stratocaster Professional Series 1 fitted with V-Mod 1 pickups. Now, for this test, I'm going to be using my Blackstar Studio 10 Series 6L6 combo, and for those of you wanting to know more about this hybrid valve digital amplifier, do see video 7, Low Volume Valve Crunch. So test 1, clean tone plus reverb. Now for test 2, again using the Blackstar Studio 10, I'm now going to dial in a bit of overdrive tone available on the amplifier, and I'll also maintain a little bit of reverb. Did you hear the difference? Certainly the budget Strat style guitar could do with a better setup, a lowered action. Perhaps the nut needs a little bit of work, because those open chords, I'm sure you heard, they just weren't sounding true, even though I did try to keep them in tune the best I could using my Polytune. So for test 3, a bit of fun. Using the Blackstar Studio 10 again, along with its overdrive tone and a little reverb again, I'm going to put the custom shop Fender alongside our rescued rubbish bin guitar. I'll add a little bit overdrive, delay and compression at various points in the track, playing along with one of my backing tracks, which will help give context to both the instruments. think? Well, what I can tell you is bending the strings on this does show up the guitar's ability to stay in tune, but once again, with a bit of a tension and breaking it in, then I think this would be a much better and more stable guitar. So how do these guitars differ in regard to physical handling and playing? Well, as mentioned, the Fender Strats are both very nice to play and they feel like quality instruments, with the custom shop Fender not surprisingly winning out. This rescued dumpster guitar, it certainly doesn't have the feel of quality that the Fenders have, and there's no surprises there. But for someone starting out, or perhaps if you're on a fixed budget, there is nothing wrong with the way this feels to hold and to play. Now, with the limited tests I've just done, I've used a Sennheiser MD421 mic on the cabinet straight into the camera. I'm sure you'll agree, this should not be on a rubbish tip. Is it worth upgrading parts such as pickups? It would likely be a false economy to purchase anything expensive for this. And I say that because the used market is flooded with guitars with higher specifications. So that's why I say this would be a false economy to uprate certain products. So I hope that's proved to be helpful, if not at least entertaining. Thanks to my good friend who dropped this particular guitar in. Do comment below and let others know of your own experiences. It's always enjoyable reading about other guitar player stories. If you'd like me to make a video on some aspect of music gear, do drop me a note. Once again, do check out my 40-year return to guitar journey videos. I think that you might find them interesting. Please do share, subscribe, ring the bell to get notified of videos as they get uploaded. And that happens generally every Friday around about 5 p.m. UK time. And please do share your own experiences below, whether a newcomer, an ongoing player, like me, an old hand returning to guitar playing. I always take time to engage with folks who take time to comment, so don't be shy. Until next time, the journey continues. Take care.